Now, there has been anxiety over the increasing reliance on fan service over the last year or so in My Little Pony, with the concern being that having the muffin pony in an episode, for instance, is like a get-out-of-jail-free card for the writers and acts as a substitute for actual writing quality.
Muffin?
For the most part, these concerns have been unfounded. I mean, for one thing, in order to be effective, fan service has to be earned. If I'm watching a terrible episode and they try to shoehorn in the muffin pony, I'm just going to find it insulting. It's not going to make me enjoy it anymore. Besides that, two of the strongest episodes from Season 5, Make New Friends But Keep Discord and Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep, were also the most fan service heavy, so it's not like the writing quality has been allowed to slip. Well, at least that was the case before No Second Prances. The episode sets itself up on shaky foundations right from the word go. The premise of making a friend in one day is silly. That's not how friendship works. I mean, yes, you can make friends with some pony in a day, but it is unlikely that you will have really got to know them properly in that time. In my life outside the pony realm, yes, I have one, don't look at me like that. I am a student at a university in the UK, and I have seen this happen. During Freshers Week, everyone thinks that they're best of friends with the first people they meet, and then as time goes on they realise they're just not compatible, because the other person turns out to be a dick, or they have clashing personalities or interests, or some other reason. That's just how life is. As it happens, Starlight Glimmer has an easy solution to the problem.
Hey, maybe I'll just force friendships by magically enslaving the entire population of Ponyville! Starlight?
Okay, you're not helping me to take Starlight any more seriously with jokes like that. She has become a parody of a reformed villain, seemingly not even aware of the motivations that drove her to commit said villainous actions in the first place, despite remembering them. But I guess that's what happens when you do a complete character 180 in 5 minutes. Anyway, after a good deal of filler, Starlight eventually meets a mysterious pony, no prizes for guessing who it is, who becomes her friend, and thus the main conflict is finally established. Will Twilight allow Starlight to be friends with Trixie?
But whatever she did, you've forgiven her, right? Of course. It's just, she wasn't the nicest pony.
Now, something didn't add up about Twilight's behaviour in this episode. Why would she be so hostile towards Trixie? What Trixie has done in the past is nothing compared to Starlight's crimes. The only time Trixie has ever even acted like a villain was when under the influence of an evil soul-sucking amulet, and the ending of Magic Jewel indicated that Twilight had forgiven her for all of that, so her actions didn't make sense in this context. Then I worked it out. As much as the main characters keep harping on about second chances, the real conflict actually has nothing to do with that. It comes down to the simple fact that Twilight does not like Trixie. And why should she? Just look at the way she enters.
Hello, princess.
Everything about this pose screams confrontation. You see, unlike Starlight Glimmer, who has undergone a character transplant, Trixie is nailed down perfectly here. We see her being rude, arrogant, and manipulative, almost without realising that's what she is doing. But we also get glimpses of her more sensitive nature underneath, and unfortunately it takes Twilight until the end of the episode to see this side of her. Compounding the problem is how possessive Twilight is over Starlight. That's right, possessive. Again, it's not about trust or second chances. It's about Starlight being Twilight's personal student and her baby, and not being allowed to be friends with some pony Twilight does not approve of. If you ever find yourself in a relationship like this, get out of it as quickly as possible, because it is not healthy. Convinced that Trixie is using her purely as a means to get back at Twilight, Starlight abandons her, which leads Trixie to attempt suicide. Wait, what?
I don't know how he did it. If I tried it, I'd get chewed up and swallowed by that manticore. If you're out there and you still want to be friends, let's be great and powerful together. Please?
I'm afraid there's no doubt about it, that is suicide. But as British Ninja has already pointed out, is it really such a bad thing to have suicide in a children's show? Well, it rather depends on how you handle it.
Trixie felt like she'd lost the only thing she had, returning to a life of solitude and whispers. Unable to take that, she decides to go out on a bang. Her final words are begging for Starlight to save her, while under the impression that Starlight was gone. Of course, Starlight was there to save her and to show her that she's not alone and cares about her. And I'll be damned if that's not the best allegory for attempted suicide I've ever seen. Sometimes, all it takes is one person, one friend to convince them that their life has meaning.
No, 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 no. This attitude that a hug from a friend can somehow fix everything is dangerous. Much like with self-harm, if someone is suicidal, they have a serious health issue which requires medical intervention. The difference is that with Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep, you really had to read deeply into the episode to draw out the self-harm allegory. With no Second Prances, it's right there on the surface. We're not even talking about subtext here. As unfortunate implications go, this is about as bad as it gets. It is once again symptomatic of writing that lacks awareness of itself, where the stated themes of trust and forgiveness do not correlate with what is actually being portrayed on screen, and where Twilight is made to be extremely unlikable. Seriously, I do not want to hate the main character, but every scene she was in I just wanted her to shut up and stop being so possessive of Starlight, stop mocking Trixie when she's clearly upset, and generally just stop being a jerk. As for the fan service, well, in an episode like this it doesn't really add anything, because it can't, it's just sort of there. When I see Vinyl scratch, it just reminds me of what a creep Twilight is being, picking Starlight's friends for her. Meanwhile, apparently no one on the production team can pick up on the fact that they are blatantly portraying suicide in My Little Pony. This is far from the worst product I've ever seen, but I expect more care and attention. Remember, if you have an artwork or topic or anything pony related you'd like to see on this channel, you should send it to me through YouTube or through my Facebook, which is in the description below. Just be aware that I do reserve the right to be brutally honest. I'm Midnight, and I'll see you next time.